Hello friends, SentinalhMC here, and welcome back to our ChromatiCraft tutorial series. I'm actually recording this for the second time because my power went out while I was recording this before and I lost everything and had to restart. But today we're going to take a look at two cool weapons from ChromatiCraft, the Chaingun and the Splash Gun. Both of these are really neat. They offer a similar effect as far as fighting large groups of enemies, but they do it in different ways, and they're both really cool. So in order to craft these, we're going to get right into this, man. In order to craft these, you're going to need a couple of things. And both of these guns require some of the same item. They both require this Kuro-tinted crystal lens. And in order to make that, we have to get our hands on a crystal lens. And the way that you craft this is pretty simple. You need glass, you need 2 Nilla crystal shards, 2 Tahara crystal shards, and 4 focal powder. And if you recall in a previous episode, focal powder comes from this red ore that you can find underground. It looks like the Feraxite ore, but it's red. So if we go to our casting table, we'll put a piece of glass in the center, and then we'll go ahead and take our Nilla shards and put them north and south. Our Tahara shards will go east and west, and our focal powder will go in the corners. And now we can cast a crystal lens. Yay! Okay, so now that we have a crystal lens, of course you're going to need 2 of these if you want to make both of these, we can go ahead and cast our Kuro-tinted crystal lens. Put our crystal lens in the center, then get some iron ingots, Kuro crystal shards, and focal powder. Yep. So focal powder goes east and west, Kuro crystal shards go north and south, and focal powder goes in the corners. No, not focal powder. Iron ingots. What am I talking about? I'm getting my wires crossed. Iron ingots in the corners. Alright, and now we can go ahead and cast our Kuro-tinted crystal lens. And of course, if you want to make both of these guns, you're going to need 2 of those. So there we go. I happen to have 2 of these. Now, both of these recipes use the same arrangement of items. They're all arranged like this. They just have different things. So we need a crystal core in the middle. And then for the chain gun, we need aura conducting ingots, which we learned how to make in the alloying episode. So go watch that if you forgot how to make these. For the other gun, the splash gun, we actually need radiative ingots. So, but other than that, this orientation is the same. So we're going to take both our crystal cores and stick them in here. Then we're going to take both of our Kuro-tinted crystal lenses and stick those in their place. They go all the way up at the top. So we're going to put them both up there. And then we need diamonds. They both need diamonds in exactly the same spot, so we'll do it that way. And the same goes with our sticks, way at the bottom. Then we need glowstone dust and aura conducting ingots for the chain gun. So we'll grab our aura conducting ingots, and those go there, there, and there. And then we need glowstone right there. So this is what we end up with. And now we'll be able to cast our chain gun. I love it. I mean, no other mod has as cool of a crafting animation as ChromatiCraft, really. Now we'll just go ahead and cast our other gun, the splash gun, by placing our radiative ingots in place and then aura dust instead of glowstone dust. Fantastic. There we go. Now we have both of them. Of course, I already had them, but there we go. So if we go to our chromatic lexicon and we look at both of these, they're down here in multi-block casting, right along with the stars we talked about last episode. We can go into the chain gun. We can see what they do. The chain gun fires a projectile that bounces between multiple creatures, and the splash gun deals splash damage. I mean, it's pretty simple. So in order to test both of these, we need to place down. We need a large congregation of creatures that we can shoot. So we'll go ahead and spawn some pigs. So I'm going to lay down just a whole bunch of pigs. I could place down a spawner. Could have done that earlier and had that spawn pigs, but honestly, I'll just spawn them myself. Okay, so now you got a lot of pigs. So if we take the splash gun, which is the blue one, and we right-click with it, we can see it does a couple of things. While it's passing over the enemies, when it gets close enough, it actually blasts them with the same sort of a blast, almost similar to a pylon. And then once it hits the ground or an enemy, it explodes and strikes all the enemies or all the creatures around it. So it's got like a double action. So it'll kill enemies that it's just passing by, and then when it hits, it'll create an explosion that kills even more enemies. Pretty neat. Let's see that again. I like it. Now the chain gun is also good for killing large groups of enemies, but in a different way. See, it kind of bounces. Now you need to hit an enemy for it to work. If I just sort of hit the ground near an enemy, it's not going to do any damage. You really got to have good accuracy with this one. It does appear that the bounce actually needs to have line of sight, and I think it's being blocked by the tall grass. Or at least the different ledges. Yeah. So it looks to me like it's being blocked by the ledges nearby, but when it hits an enemy, the projectile appears to select another enemy of the same type, or maybe just another creature in general, and try and path to it and hit it, and then do it again. But I think the different levels of the ground are making that difficult. Put a bunch of pigs right here. Yeah, you can see how it kind of bounces around like that. Then when it tries to pick another one further away, it sort of screws up because it sort of hits the ground. Honestly, I think it's blocked by tall grass. Yeah, it is. The projectile is, at least. But we can see that it bounces between different enemies. The projectile does have travel time, so you do gotta be pretty accurate. There we go, that was a good bounce. I don't know if there's a limit to the number of times that it can bounce, but it seems like it'll bounce until it impacts the ground. That seems to be what's happening here, because once it hits the ground, it stops. I think this one's my favorite. Although I really like the way that this chain gun makes that cool sound effect whenever it hits. It's like I just scored a point. There's certainly a lot of pork on the ground. There we go, that was a good bounce. So that's the chain gun and the splash gun. They're pretty neat. And I definitely think they're useful. They're very, very useful. But I think in a cave, the splash gun is definitely the more useful of the two, because you're not going to be able to chain to very many enemies in a small enclosed space, because the chain gun does appear to need the blast needs to be able to travel to the enemy. So chain gun definitely seems to be more useful in an open area like this, although they're both very useful. I think these are cool. These are really cool. And they don't appear to require any energy to use them. At least the lexicon didn't say that they do. So once you craft it, you just have a really awesome weapon. I'm definitely a fan. I think these are really cool. Just some more cool armaments available in ChromatiCraft. ChromatiCraft has a lot of cool stuff like this. A lot of cool ways to kill your enemies. They're very neat. I like it. And as with everything in ChromatiCraft, cool sound effects and visual effects abound. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. I need to do something quick. I haven't had a lot of time this week because, you know, I've been working a lot. But we're going to get some more content for you. And I know you're not going to be disappointed. Especially stick around for tomorrow's video, the Revolution video for tomorrow. I think it's going to be really good. I put a lot of effort into editing it, and I think we got some good progress made. But thank you so much for watching this episode of the ChromatiCraft tutorial series. Like and comment the video down below if you did enjoy it. It really helps me out. I'm SentinalhMC, and I'm signing out.